3, 2, 1, go!
Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, welcome to Jubilife City, where today the Cinnabar Flare are challenging the Jubilife Venom in a matchup between two sides who've had a very rocky start to the season so far. Now the Cinnabar Flare are going to be starting out with Magmortar and Rapidash, whereas it's Venusaur and Nidoqueen starting out for the Jubilife Venom, and Rapidash immediately sets up an electric terrain. Now this isn't going to have much of an impact on Nidoqueen with that electric immunity being part ground type, but still, we'll see shortly if that does have an impact in the matchup. Magmortar though, however, follows up with a much more successful, super effective peck on the Venusaur, who responds with a Smart Strike. Now that's going to be not very effective on the fire type Pokemon, but Magmortar's Flame Body will actually leave Venusaur with a burn, so Venusaur is going to be taking damage from that burn in between turns, and Nidoqueen goes with the Infestation onto Rapidash, which isn't very effective, but Rapidash is also now going to be afflicted with that Infestation, so similar to that burn for Venusaur, Rapidash is going to be taking damage in between turns, although it doesn't look like as much damage as what Venusaur will probably be taking. But Rapidash now with a Sacred Fire onto Nidoqueen, huge damage, and Nidoqueen is also left with a burn. That's two status conditions already for the Jubilife Venom, as a Giga Drain from Magmortar onto Nidoqueen does even more damage. Nidoqueen is hanging on though, but Magmortar has restored itself back to full strength, and a Poison Jab now coming from Venusaur onto Magmortar. It will get that same type attack bonus, as a Terrain Pulse from Nidoqueen follows it up onto Magmortar, so capitalizing on that electric terrain, and Venusaur there being hurt by its burn, as will Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen though still holding on. That Infestation does hit Rapidash here early in the matchup. Rapidash though now going to go with the Mud Slap onto Venusaur, not very effective on the part grass type, however it does lower Venusaur's accuracy. This could have an impact. Electric Terrain is tried and failed by Magmortar, because that Electric Terrain already is set up. But now Venusaur goes with the Teeter Dance. This is actually going to confuse everybody on the field, including Nidoqueen. So this could actually hinder the Jubilife Venom very in the matchup. Hopefully though they do get the benefits of Magmortar and Rapidash being confused, but first Nidoqueen has to try and shake off that confusion, and does, and goes with an Aqua Tail. This will be super effective on Magmortar, but Magmortar holds on. I did not expect Magmortar to last through that attack, as that burn almost takes out Nidoqueen as well. Venusaur also still afflicted with that burn, and Rapidash still suffering from that Infestation. So all the Pokemon here, bar Venusaur, are suffering from that confusion. Rapidash actually hurts itself in that confusion. That is fantastic for the Jubilife Venom. Magmortar is able to shake it off, however, and goes for the takedown onto Venusaur. Huge damage to Venusaur, but the recoil damage will eliminate Magmortar from this matchup, the first elimination, as Venusaur follows it up with a Scald. This will be super effective on Rapidash, and Rapidash is eliminated. This is a huge play, critical hit, super effective. Very on early lead for the Jubilife Venom. Nidoqueen still has to go with its move, but does shake off the confusion, and that Rapid Spin will fail as there's no one to target. But Venusaur again hurt by the burn, as is Nidoqueen, and now Nidoqueen is actually eliminated after being hit with that burn earlier on from Rapidash. Now it's Magma coming out along with Talonflame for the Cinnabar Flare, whereas it's Toxapex coming out for the Jubilife Venom, and immediately Talonflame with a Lava Plume hits everybody on the field. But Venusaur, super effective, although even if it wasn't, I still think it would have gotten the elimination. So now it is two Pokemon down on both sides of the field. Magma goes with a Curse, still very impressive though by Talonflame to get that elimination. Now Magma has lowered its speed with that Curse, but boosted its attack and defense. Toxapex, however, though, goes with the Rock Slide. This is super effective on both Talonflame and Magmortar, as that electricity does disappear from the field. But very good damage there by Toxapex, who is now accompanied by Roserade coming out onto the field. Now Talonflame goes with the Corrosive Gas. This will burn up everybody's Lapberry on the field, so they will be corroded away. Roserade though going for its first move of the matchup, and goes to the high jump kick onto Talonflame. Not very effective, but almost gets the elimination. And again a Flame Body comes into play and leaves Roserade with a burn. That is the third poison type Pokemon afflicted with that burn status condition, as Toxapex takes damage there from Magmortar. From Magma, sorry, a Purify will fail from Toxapex as Roserade takes damage from that burn, and Talonflame now going with the Water Spout onto Roserade, and Toxapex doing such minor damage you barely even notice it did anything, as it's not very effective on both Pokemon. Roserade, however, with the Lash Out onto Magma. You have to think, if it had gone for Talonflame, it probably would have had the elimination there, as a tea time is performed by Magma, which will make everyone eat up their berries, but Talonflame's the only Pokemon with a berry left, and now it is gone. Toxapex with the rising voltage also going for Magma. Again, they should have gone for Talonflame, I think, and gotten that elimination as Roserade is hurt by that burn. Talonflame now going with the size toss onto the grass poison type Pokemon. A much more successful move this time as Roserade responds with the smackdown and lays the smackdown on Talonflame and gets the elimination with that super effective hit. Talonflame is taken out of this battle, and the Jubilife Venom are back in front as a Night Daze from Magma onto Roserade. Very good damage there as Toxapex follows it up with a Moonlight, looking to restore its health, see how if it can get itself back to full strength here, and it looks like it does. A fantastic play by Toxapex as Roserade still holding on, suffering from that burn, and it's Arcanine now coming out for the Cinnabar Flare, and it has that Intimidate ability, so it's going to lower Roserade and Toxapex's attack stats here on the field. It should have the speed advantage, and that it does. Goes with the triple kick onto Toxapex, but only hits once and not very effective. Roserade responding for its teammate with a Flame Charge onto Magma, but that doesn't look like it did any damage either. Roserade, though, does get the speed boost as Magma follows it up with a Trop Kick onto Toxapex, lowering Toxapex's attack stat there as Toxapex goes with the Future Sight. Looks like it's focusing in on Arcanine there as Roserade continues to suffer from that burn. We'll see that Future Sight surely hit in a number of turns if the battle's still going, but Roserade with a Strength Sap onto Arcanine, an amazing play. It is going to lower Arcanine's 110 base attack stat, but Roserade gets a health restoration back to full strength. That is fantastic. Roserade was a sitting duck on the field there as the gravity is intensified by Arcanine. Magma with a body slam onto Roserade. Huge damage there onto Roserade as a triple axle from Toxapex onto Magma, and it gets all three, but they are not very effective, and Magma is still holding on in this matchup as that burn again continues to afflict Roserade. Roserade, though, with a Gunk Shot now, if it goes for Magma, it will get the elimination, but instead goes for Arcanine. But Arcanine now being left with a status condition of its own. The Jubilife Venom have poisoned Arcanine as a U-turn from Arcanine. Hits Roserade. Roserade is still in there though, but Arcanine goes back to the bench and Flareon comes out as a Wild Charge from Magma. Finishes Roserade off, so Roserade is taken out with that not very effective move. So it is 3 Pokemon down on each side. Now we know every Pokemon remaining on the Cinnabar Flare, but an Acrobatics goes for Magma, and now Magma is eliminated with a critical hit. That did not need to be a critical hit though. Magma is taken out, and again the Jubilife Venom are back in front, and Flareon takes the Future Sight that was set up earlier by Toxapex as Arcanine comes back out onto the field, and Toxicroak comes out for the first time in this matchup. Now Arcanine's Intimidate ability does get activated again as it comes back onto the field, so Toxicroak and Toxapex both having their attack stat lowered, and Arcanine now with a Power Trip onto the Fighting Poison type. Not very effective move, and Toxicroak responds with a Sparkling Aria. This is going to hit everybody on the field. Huge damage to Flareon, massive damage to Arcanine, but it's also a critical hit on Flareon, which makes Flareon an easy target already in this early stages of it appearing in the matchup as a nasty plot by Flareon. Boosts its special attack. Toxapex will set up a Misty Terrain, so we'll start to see this mist swirl all over the battlefield. Things could get weird, but again, Flareon's already an easy target. A huge advantage here for the Jubilife Venom. Arcanine being hurt by that poison, that status condition that got earlier, and Arcanine with a Blaze Kick on Toxicroak, and Toxicroak hangs on. Critical hit. Toxicroak holding on by a thread, responds with an Acrobatics. Does not take out Arcanine though, but Flareon with a Confusion. It has that boosted special attack as well and eliminates Toxapex. Super effective move, so Toxapex is taken out. Toxicroak is holding on, and now Arcanine, hurt by that poison, has been eliminated. So that was a great play by Flareon to get the elimination, but Crobat now comes out on the field and immediately goes for the Acrobatics onto Flareon, and Flareon is eliminated. So just like that, the Jubilife Venom have won this matchup in strong form. A fantastic back and forth matchup here between the Jubilife Venom and the Cinnabar Flare, but that's going to put the Jubilife Venom back in the Masters 8. They are now sitting 7th. The Cinnabar Flare do stay sitting in 15th. They're going to hope for a much better matchup next round when they face the Pharaoh Mines, whereas the Jubilife Venom will be facing the Opelousas Draconids. We've also had a bit of a back and forth start to the season, but in our next matchup it will be the Humilau Cascade facing the Doofed Combats, and I really look forward to that matchup as they are both two lower sides teams due for combats are still yet to win a game. But until then, Nidorinas and Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best of it. And if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I will see you when you see me.